Real stories with bold creatives. CAPTN OffScript Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the CAPTN OffScript Podcast. My today's guest has been on my list for so long, and I've been following his work for years now. I mean, I think ever since I joined Instagram after pandemic, and he's one of the best type and motion designers I've ever met in this virtual world, and I'm so glad to have him today. Mat Voyce, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much. You're far too kind, but nice to hear you've been following me since pandemic. That was a
Yeah. I mean, I got on Instagram then, and then, I mean, I haven't been present with my brand before that. I started like 2 or 3 years ago to be more on social media, but before that I wasn't. So that's approximately, time when I made the account and everything.
Nice.
And
nice.
Since you also do type animations and everything, it's quite connected to my work, and I definitely loved it from the start.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, let's start with some easy. Well, I first want to tell the story of how it came to be to record the session with you today.
Sure.
So I started the podcast last year, and you were like one of the top people I wanted to invite because I really love the work. And then before sending you an email, I saw that you are coming to Barcelona. I was living in Barcelona at the time.
Yeah.
You were speaking at the Off Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured, oh, wow, I could do a live session with this guy. That would be like super amazing thing.
Yeah.
But as we introverts do, and when anxiety hits and this stuff, I was not able to organize it because of my issues with anxiety and actually meeting people in real time. That was, I mean, I found a million other reasons, in my head.
Of course.
It's not good.
Yeah.
You're not, like my English is not good enough and everything. And, so when you recently, like 12, 13 days ago, started talking on your, in your reels and stories about finally tackling your anxiety, I said like, okay, this was meant to be like this.
Definitely.
So it's really, really a pleasure to have you today and to talk to you about fun stuff as well, but about hard things that are kind of daily life of most of freelancers. I was just reading yesterday that like more than 70% of freelancers actually have some kind of mental issues, and whether it's anxiety or depression. Yeah. And sorry, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just agreeing. And
okay.
Yeah, it was surprising how many people that I know and have known for years since I started talking about it have messaged me being like, been there a few years ago. It's so common, like can't express how common it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I personally have been battling anxiety and depression for a long time. I was this kind of always a weird kid in the school, and never really fit, and socializing with people was not my kind of thing. It still isn't really. I just got like completely frozen when I need to speak with other people in person. Even these podcast sessions have been like a challenge for me.
Yeah.
And that's still one of those things that I'm trying to battle. But some 6-7 years ago, I had a really, really bad episode of depression.
Okay.
I closed my company, and then I wasn't sure what to do. And I was just like sleeping all day long, was not able to get out of bed. It was really, really horrible. And then I started, right before pandemic, I started with therapy, with medications, and that really helped with depression. Anxiety is still something I'm battling with. And as you said the other day, when you go to sleep, when you lay in bed, your brain doesn't really want to go to sleep. It's just like spiraling around and things. So yeah, I mean, thank you for talking about it more, because not enough people are talking about it.
Yeah, it's no problem. I don't know why. I just felt like I've never had a problem with like sharing on Instagram and like oversharing almost. I think sometimes people have messaged me being like, you know, like they can't believe not for this particularly, but like that I use my account that publicly. But because I started that account, it's my name, you know, it's not like a business name. It's just me. It's just my account. So I never felt like a block or resistance to not want to share stuff and to be open and to put stories up and to like, I don't know, just swear, be myself, be open and not have to worry about like, oh my God, I can't say this, can't say that. Nothing political wise, but just in general, like, so it just seemed like a good time to do it because I've been sharing less on Instagram just because I've been busy and life is busy and I don't have time to just constantly make new work anymore. And yeah, it just kind of felt like I'm a freelancer. I'm at home on my own. My my wife's here and there. She's working and whatnot. So I put it out there and just, you know, see what happens and see if anyone reacts with it, see if it can make anyone feel better or feel like they're not alone in this. And I feel like it has done that. And it's not like one of those things where I wanted it to like go viral or reach thousands and thousands of people. I just wanted to put it out there and just let people know like this is kind of what's going on with me at the minute and that I'm starting this medicated anxiety journey. It's something I never thought that would happen. And yeah, just see what happens and just see where it goes and not, again, it's kind of how I started my Instagram, not expect anything from it, just put stuff out there and what will be, will be. And I just want to be happy that I've shared me and shared my experiences and not held back and not regretted anything really.
Yeah. I mean, that's really amazing thing because I don't know, social media is kind of like everyone is pretending that everything is perfect, everything is good. Like you see this feed and then if you have anxiety, if you have social like health problems, mental problems, it makes you feel even worse. So seeing that kind of like honest and original thing is really, really refreshing. But we'll go back to that. I mean, let's start with something more relaxing, I guess.
For sure.
Three things that your wife would say about you that would describe you.
Oh, that's good. Very creative, like a creative brain, just because of how I think about problems and problem solve and places my mind goes instantly, where others would probably go in different directions. I'd say imaginative because again, some of the things that I come out with are a little bit crazy, a little bit weird, and I guess that feeds into what I do for my job and work-wise. And I think I would hope she would say selfless because although I'm in my own head a lot, I do try to think of others first, and I always try to talk to people and reach out to people and let people know that, you know, I can be there, I can help, or just thinking of others. I think that's what I would hope she would say. But you know, she might say that, or she might say I'm an overthinker. So it could go either one of two ways.
Okay. Yeah, you never know. You never know with spouses. You never know what they might say. Yeah. I'm even afraid to think about that, what my husband would say about it. But
you never know. It's
someone else's
opinions, right?
Yeah, I have to ask him later. Like, what are the words if someone asks me that question? So, if we go back to your education, first one other thing that was so amazing to me, with 10 years, when you were 10 years old, you entered a contest for a cover of Futurama comic book, and you won it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was great. I grew up really into The Simpsons. Like Simpsons was like my thing as a kid. It was part of my evening routine. And then I learned about Futurama from the same guy, Matt Groening, who did Simpsons. And I just started watching it and I got really, really into it. And at the same time, because I was quite young, I used to kind of like sketch cartoons and make comic strips and just do very hand-drawn stuff, which unfortunately I hasn't followed through to my like adulthood. But I was really into it. And yeah, I would always, I'd have like a subscription to the magazine. I've still got them all in my attic. And I'd always see these art competitions at the back. Like it could be like it was a fan art contest basically. And they always just selected like a handful of people who sent mail to their PO box, and the winner, or the most, I don't know, liked amongst the team who was receiving these, would then get like a figure essentially and win like a little prize. And I obviously had to do it once. I mustered up the strength and the courage to do it and just to mail it off. And yeah, like a few weeks later, this package arrived. I mean, phones weren't really a thing as much as iPhones weren't a thing. So couldn't exactly take photos of it apart from on an instant. And I wish I'd taken photos of the box and the figure coming out. And yeah, I got given this like, he's called like Earl, or URL in the show. He's like a police robot. And I won that figure. I can't see it, but it's in a box over there. It's away from the sun because it's getting sun bleached at the minute. And yeah, I got this figure and I've had it since I was a kid, and I still have the magazine as well, the actual magazine with my piece of artwork and my name in. And yeah, that was like
proud of that one, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'll always be proud of that, just because I love Futurama and I still do. And it's so weird that you bring it up, because last night I started watching Futurama again because I've rinsed like The American Office about 15 times and I needed something to relax and to watch, and Futurama is there. So weird you bring that up, because I literally started watching it again last night.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but really still proud of that. I never really entered competitions, and that was just one that I never, kind of a recurring theme in my life is to do stuff and not expect an outcome from it, to not expect a reward or a prize. And that was one of those first things. So that was like, yeah, just amazing.
Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, 10-year-old kid and the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was brilliant.
That's absolutely great. And, well, you are working as a motion designer, type designer.
Yeah.
But what was your education? How did you start? Because I've read that you, for the motion design, you actually learned all by yourself, bit by bit during the pandemic. But what was before that?
So in school, I was very average. Mainly loved PE. I loved exercise and running and athletics. And I liked art and design. So when I did GCSEs in the UK, I chose graphic design as one of my many subjects. And out of like 11 GCSEs, that was the only subject I got an A in. Everything else I got like a B in product design, which was cool. But then everything else, math, science, English, the rest, they were all C's. So design was like, it was working for me. I really enjoyed doing it, and I loved the classrooms. I loved like the hands-on approach and making stuff and using creativity just to produce things. And that probably stems, from the childhood of being so creative with drawing and sketching and whatnot. So I did that, and then I went on to AS levels, which was supposed to be A levels, for 2 years. But I dropped out after 1 year because I was taking like biology, psychology, art, and graphic design. And again, graphic design, doing amazingly. But then psychology and biology, I was getting like E's and U's, terrible. Even though I was applying myself, the cognitive ability just wasn't there for that. So I had to drop those, and then I couldn't stay on to do AS levels. They wouldn't keep a student on to just do 2 AS levels. It's not how the system worked. So I went to an art college in the same town that I'm from, and that was just like 2 years of just pure graphic design.
Oh, wow.
Every single module, a different thing, like trying logo design, photography, every single module. And that was for 2 years. So I knew like I loved doing this and I loved just making stuff. So it was really clear, like I was going to do design. I didn't know much about the industry or what it would be. So I then passed with a distinction in college, which I was really proud of, and got like student of the year, which was amazing.
Wow.
And then went to university to do graphic design. And again, liked uni, but obviously I needed a bit more of the cognitive side again there. That was coming back in because it's more of a serious degree. Well, not serious, but you had to do modules that required much more thinking and kind of that sort of, again, cognitive level. I was very average there again. I dropped back down to my normal bottom of the pack kind of place, and scraped through and tried motion at university in a module for animation. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. Yep. I did an animation which I share in some of my talks that I've done in the past, and I show the animation. So I made that animation. I was just like, oh, I'm never going to do motion again. I just can't stand it. My God, it's just not for me. Absolutely not. And then worked myself into the design industry through agency roles. And that's when I started to pick up motion design and learn about motion design and slowly implement it into my own workflow, and just never looked back and never second doubted it or questioned it. Amazing, really, if I do say so myself.
Cool. Yeah, and you worked with, huge companies, Disney Plus, Nike, Pepsi, and how was the experience to actually work with them?
Yeah, it's always been very surreal. And obviously the first time that I was kind of working with these high ticket clients or these big brand names, they weren't obviously always on like massive global projects, but I was still getting to work with like Pepsi or Disney Plus. And it might have been through an agency, but at the end of the day, the project goes for that client. So it was very surreal at first. I was always kind of like, I can't believe, my wife would vouch for me that like I would just be so in my own head being like, I can't believe like these are coming to me for this. I can't do this. Like I can't do it. That kind of self-imposter syndrome. And it was awful at the time. But then I guess I fell into it more and started to take on more of these kind of like freelance gigs, and the household brands just kept coming and the names kept coming, and the companies and the agencies that I always dreamed of working with were kind of coming in, and it just obviously gets easier with anything. Like, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then, now it's just like, I'm still always really grateful for getting an email from like a brand or like a job proposal. I'm like, oh my God, look at that. That's an amazing job. Like I'm going to be starting one today. It's more of a pitch thing, but it's one of those jobs again that's like, I've wanted to do one of these for years, the nature of this job. So it's kind of like a pinch me moment where I need to like, I always almost need to like say like, just not man up, because it's not really something anyone says anymore, but just like almost like ground myself and get a grip and bring myself back to reality. Remember that I am good at what I do, and it's a scary project if I get it, and it's going to be hard work, but I can do it, and I'm sure I could make something. So I still have those moments, and that's really? Never stopped.
After all this time?
Syndrome. Yeah. I think it's when you get those projects that are challenging, which are the best ones to have, because you learn the most, and you going through those trial and tribulations. When you come out the other side of one of those projects, you feel like a new man or a new designer. It's like, wow, like I feel amazing. So that's digging in every time I'm looking at one of those briefs and being like, you know what, if I do stick through this, and I probably am going to hate it at points, not from hate what I'm doing, but mentally I'll be like, oh, like this is a lot, but it's going to be worth it. So that's never changed. And it's not for every project. It's just for those, those scary ones that I know are going to push my buttons, push my skills.
Okay. So you're starting a new one of those today?
Yeah. Literally today. And I need to get my head into it and decide like how I would approach it and in what state or what form I would do. Cause obviously I'm very type animation focused. So this isn't necessarily purely type. There's characters involved and stuff like that. And I don't really animate characters. So that's why I need to try and find a way to bring myself into this with the characters and find a way that I could maybe animate them or show aspects of them within my work. And it's going to take a lot of thinking, but it's something that I really want to do.
Yeah. But you have already when you animate a type, you try to bring a more human movement to the type. So I guess it's kind of connected and in the opposite way.
Yeah. I think it is. I know the aspects of how characters should move because I do it with type, and for years I've tried walk cycles. I've tried to master the walk cycle, And I've tried
Okay.
multiple times, some for my personal projects, sometimes just following tutorials over the years, and it's never quite come together. It's never just quite looked right, even for like a simple, like a 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
There's always something that's a bit jarring. So
Yeah.
that's what like puts me off. But like, I don't necessarily need to make characters walk in this. I just need to find a way to bring that sense of character to it, but still have what it is that I'm creating recognizable to those specific characters and to that brand and that sort of identity.
Okay. That's amazing. I mean, it's always good to do different things, I guess.
Yeah,
Kind
exactly.
of challenge yourself and not get in a rut of doing one thing all the time. And
yeah. And that's what I have been saying to some people recently when I've been meeting them at events and just talking to people that about being a bit stuck in a rut and have done loads of stuff with typography, and like, it'd be great if I could, try something and go out my comfort zone. So this is literally the perfect excuse to do that. So I just need to do it. I just need to
amazing.
relax into it and do it.
Yeah, well, relax into it, definitely.
Yes.
You mentioned events. I've seen your stories and the stories from a couple of other guys, Radam and James Martin. You were on that dinner. How does it feel to be surrounded with all those people and actually to be like equal to those people? It's not just like you are a guest somewhere, but you are one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal again, because like James, for example, like I've spoke to James for years on Instagram, so I didn't know he was going to be at an event that I was at recently, and he was like one of the first few people that I saw, and I was just like, oh my God, like it's you in person. And it's like even like surreal and a bit like you're like one of my, like, I look up to you kind of people. So yeah, I always feel very like fortunate, and sometimes I feel, because I'm a bit more of an introvert, I do a lot of listening in those situations. Like I won't always necessarily jump into a conversation. I'll kind of wait to see if there's a right moment to get closer and then kind of try to get involved that way. I find it easier. So yeah, I still find it kind of tricky sometimes, and try to never, I really don't like talking about myself and my own work. Like my friends will do this because my friends take the mick out of me whenever I like, whenever they introduce me to like their friends, for example, they'll start taking the mick and being like, oh, he's a social media influencer, just like animation. Okay. And I just like put my head in my hands. I'm like, oh God, I hate you right now. Cause it's just not how I like talking about myself. I prefer to like hear about others and let others do the talking and see where, if I bring up myself and if I need to come to the conversation, then I do that kind of way. But yeah, like those kind of events, I just still always feel fortunate that like I can be there and I can learn from all these people, and I can sort of just be involved and surrounded by like amazing creatives, because there's just obviously so many, and there's so many like unsung heroes that you don't get to go to those events with, and that you never get to meet, or they never get invited. So yeah, it's kind of like inspires me to want to meet more people, and that's kind of leaked into social media because I've always shared others' work on my stories. So it's kind of like trying to give back in little hits here and there in a way.
Okay. That's really great. I mean, I saw the stories and everything, and it was like, oh my God, like it would be like a dream come true to be so close to those people.
Yeah.
And I've been looking up to James Martin, as you said. I've had him on the podcast and been talking to Radam, and it was, I mean, amazing people. So that was quite a dinner.
Yeah, it was really good, and it's always very inspiring. And you come away like taking away these stories and the new people that you kind of meet, and just thinking about how that kind of impacts your life and where it could go and where new friendships could go. And with any of those things, it's always about like who you know, right? Like the reason you get invited to those things, and it does help who you know. So I kind of still just feel fortunate that somehow the quiet guy in the middle of the table gets invited and just sits there and listens and gives some minor input.
Yeah, that's amazing. Use it well. I mean, as an introvert myself, I know how it feels and what you must like feel in your head and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for me, it's always like And I mean, I love talking to people, especially,
Yeah.
and I do this podcast for that and to get out of my comfort zone. But yeah, every time is still scary. And in person, it's even worse. So I try to let it go, but
Yeah.
it gets
Still
you every
tricky.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not getting too easier, but I force myself. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel you.
So, apart from your work, I mean, everyone knows you for your work. So I don't want to spend all the time talking about it.
Yeah.
You
of
are
course.
well known and really amazing designer. But I want to meet different kind of you, not just
Yeah.
your work. And you've just recently become a father,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
How is that? How is the
18
feeling?
months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazing. Terrifying, tiring, but rewarding, very rewarding. And it's nice to have like a little kind of clone of you in the house, just
Okay.
learning and enjoying and experiencing stuff. And yeah, just growing, and times just go so fast now. I feel like it's just months are just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
wild.
can relate to that. Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids, but I have a nephew and
Yeah.
he's 8 years old now.
Well,
And the time flies so fast. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like he was small baby yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like he's a kid now, like 8 years. He's so tall. And yeah, I can imagine that, how to feel with your own kid.
Yeah, it just
How do
flies.
you manage to juggle all the stuff, the work, being a parent, battling with yourself, trying to go out and, relax a bit as well? How do you fit it all?
Yeah, it's definitely a juggling act, and I think most parents will tell you, especially if they're kind of like freelancers, that it feels like it's a kind of like a constant. Every day is just the days. It's probably why time goes so fast, because the days just roll into each other, and before you know it, like weeks are gone. But it's a massive juggling act, and I think now I'm better with like what is a priority. So what's like the best use of my time each day, and I only have so many working hours essentially during the 9 to 5 kind of hours that I can work and I can make stuff, and they're clear hours where no one else is in the house and I can just do my work and get it done. So I know that like I have that time, and if I struggle or if there's problems, then I tend to kind of do stuff later in the evening as well. So after my kids had like come home from nursery and played with us for a little while, then gone to bed like a few hours later, that then I have, if I need to, those hours in the evenings, which I kind of do regularly, kind of just work on stuff there. Or that was normally when I did personal projects and kind of work on those when I wasn't too tired. But I've been kind of more tired recently, and it's been less important to kind of just do more work in the evening when it's not always necessary. So yeah, a juggling act, and definitely learning what is a priority and the best use of my time, and making the most of the day.
Yeah. You mentioned that you are all alone at home, but you are actually not. Hooch is there, right?
Yeah, he is. He's sleeping
sleepy
behind me.
Sleepy baby. Look at him.
Absolutely out of it. We did like a 4-mile walk this morning, so he's shot right now. He's just blowing Z's on the bed.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I have him, which is nice company.
Yeah. But one of the reasons why I invited you, and it's kind of connected with Hooch, is your anxiety.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I assumed that it was always there, but you said in one of your interviews that it kind of exploded after you get a dog.
Yeah, it did. Unexpectedly.
Tell me more.
So I grew up with dogs, and I've had dogs my whole life. I've looked after dogs, so I've had family dogs, never had a problem. I've always been anxious though. I've always been a worrier, so the anxiety's definitely always been there, and I've got a bit of a kind of like a trigger, which I won't go into too much because it's more of a private thing, but that's kind of like a root cause of anxiety and what really kind of triggers me and gets me going really in that sense, in a negative way. So that was kind of always there, but that was never really involved with the dog. It's a very different matter, but I was always, anxious and worrier and overthinker. And then, we got Hooch, and I don't know what it was. It just like ignited the anxiety in me, and like I felt like I couldn't relax in my house. I felt like I couldn't really control him, even though he was such a good puppy. He was such a good dog. Like, he was just a young dog. He was never really that badly behaved. Like, he never destroyed furniture, but I just couldn't relax. I felt like I was just so on edge, and I think it was just a little life change that tipped me over the edge. And my sister always says about like having full cups. So if your cup's full, it just takes one little pour of something or one little addition and you're overflowing, then that's when it just all starts to boil over. So that's what I think happened then. So that like caused me to kind of have therapy for a while and try and kind of work through the issues, which it was nice to talk to someone and kind of get some of that out there. But in the long term, just talking about those problems, because I have now, it's not changed anything. It's not, the anxiety's still there. It's never gone away. So talking about it, which might work really well for some people, and I really commend people for kind of going through therapy and taking that step, and it works wonders for some people. But for me and my brain, it just doesn't work. Like, talking it out just does not do anything, because I can talk about a problem, but it doesn't rewire my brain. The problem's still there. And that's why then I tried hypnotherapy to see if I could literally almost like wipe it out of my brain and find like a coping mechanism that would reset my brain. And I had kind of one set of hypnotherapy. When was that? 2 years, maybe it was 2 years ago. And for the first few days, I slept really well afterwards. I felt like a bit clearer, but then it just started getting triggered again. And it didn't really, I just felt myself like, oh, I've not really made any progress here. So kind of battled with it again, off and on. And then obviously had a child, which was great. And luckily the anxiety wasn't too bad when we had Freddie, our kid. I always say to my wife, like, I'm very grateful that my anxiety really flared up when we got the dog, because if it had flared up when we had the baby, that would have made things so much harder for me, for my wife. Like, it would have been an absolute nightmare. So I'm kind of really grateful that it did happen and that it did sort of overflow at the time and it came out and came afoot, because it was the best time for it to do so. So luckily, yeah, with the child, it didn't actually, it almost chilled me out a little bit, which was odd. But now he's getting a bit older and the kind of certain triggers are flaring up a bit more. It's kind of becoming a bit more relevant and sort of always there and always on my chest. So I tried hypnotherapy again last year. Or maybe it was this year. Could have been the start of this year. And it just didn't work at all. It was just worse. It just, I came out of the sessions and not to like, strike on hypnotherapists, but I just came out of it just like, that's done nothing for me. What was that? Like, I appreciate what they were doing and what they were trying to do, but that has just done nothing. So then it was like, what else is there? Medication. That's like the last resort for me. It's something I never thought I would really have to take. And I was never really ashamed of doing it. Never really thought like, oh, God, I've got to do this, which is why I put it on Instagram, because I wasn't ashamed of it. So yeah, that was, when was that? That was, 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago today, I started the medication, and yeah, I think it's the best thing I could have done for the time being, although I've not felt any changes because it's just too early. It takes weeks and weeks and months.
Definitely.
So, I'm feeling kind of hopeful that I'm still anxious, but that maybe this will just take the edge off. If I can just take away take off some of the sharpness of it, that would be good, because I can't do it with my brain. I can't do it myself. I need the help to do that.
Yeah. No, I'll first circle back to the therapy you mentioned. It helped when I started it back. It was before COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And the first sessions were like, I felt even worse after, I guess you talk for an hour about bad things that happened and all the, initials of it.
Yeah.
And then there's no really way to feel better after that hour,
No.
And I know that my husband would usually pick me up later and we would go for a walk, just to, like, try to clear my mind a bit.
Yeah, decompress.
Yeah, because it was really, really heavy to start therapy. I would say for me, it helped in some way with depression.
Yeah.
But I would definitely, you said the medication, and I didn't want to start with medication at first because somehow, at least in my background, you have this feeling that when you start medicating for depression and anxiety, you will be like half present, you will be like behaving almost like a plant, like, it's not something that you want, but honestly, for me, it was never that kind of an effect. Obviously, the first couple of weeks, you have like all these things that you do not expect to have when you start medicating and everything. But it really did help me with depression after changing up a couple of different brands. And, but honestly, with anxiety, it's still a battle.
Yep.
I take, lorazepam. Yeah. And that's kind of to relax me. But honestly, it's when I go to bed at evening, and it's totally unconscious because my jaws clench so much. My brain is racing like crazy. Yeah. My husband like falls asleep in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm with you there. My wife does.
Yeah, and I'm like, for the next hour, I'm like looking around the bed and, I'm sleepy, but it's not stop, never stops really. And
I'm the same.
So I definitely understand you. And I mean, with time, it gets better. Yeah. You said you are on sertralina or something?
Yes. Yeah, okay. That's the one.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't use that one, so I don't know how it works really, but I know that all of them, take time.
Yeah.
Take time, and it's a great thing you did it, at least to try how it works, at least to, help you a bit, as you said, to take the edge off. And but how was it at the first when you started? Did you have any side effects? Did you?
Yeah, I did. I won't go into it too much because it's just a bit disgusting, but I have like a weak bowel. I think I have a really bad bowel biome. Just, gut health, I think, is terrible, and it always has been. I've always tried to fix it, but every time I try and take something to fix it, just makes everything worse and makes me feel worse. Yeah. So I had some toiletry issues when I first started taking it within the first day, but that wore off within like 48 hours as my body got used to what was happening. Because it's fascinating. It really is, because I didn't know that serotonin is 90% in your bowel. That's where it mainly is. So it makes sense why this medicine that's supposed to, give you more serotonin then triggered my lower half. It was a bit of that, and I've had a spot of insomnia here and there. Luckily, it's not been every night, but sometimes I get into bed and it's like we've both said that, like, your brain feels like it's awake, but I was really tired, like so tired. I had my eyes closed and I think I fell asleep, but I felt like my brain was constantly just present all night. I didn't get into a deep sleep. So I've had that a few times, had that 2 nights ago again, when I was away. So that's kind of up and down, but I mean, I've never been a great sleeper. So, that is what it is. So yeah, other than that, the side effects haven't been too bad. I've had certain, I wouldn't say really bad sort of spikes in anxiety, but I have had a few spikes and a few days where I felt like I can just hear my heartbeat all the time. Just feel like it's constantly knowing you can feel your pulse and you can hear your pulse in like your head. I feel like I've had that. So yeah, I feel like, to be honest, I've got off lightly because I've spoken to some people on Instagram and some of my friends that have said they were awful in the first 2 weeks. Like they couldn't hold a conversation together, but I luckily didn't have it that bad. So I don't know if that's because I started off on a lower dose and worked up to a kind of regular sized dose, which could be to do with that. So, yeah, I think I got off very lightly compared to how rough some people have had it, I think.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not a medical like advice here or anything, but don't be afraid to change brands, because it can be like 3 to 4 different brands until you figure out what works.
Yeah, it's true.
So I mean, it's a horror story to change from one to another, and then different side effects and everything. But yeah, don't be afraid to do that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, nice. It might help. I mean, that helped me because I started with a couple of different, and I think 5th worked for me in some way.
Yeah. Good.
But did you ever feel that anxiety was like affecting your work, or was not that part?
No, do you know what? Luckily, it's never really had that much of an impact on what I do, which is good. It feels like it's a very separate thing, and it's rarely been so bad, apart from that first time when the dog was involved, that I struggled to work. So I've always been able to kind of just almost block it off when I'm doing the creative work, is just quite nice, and just focusing on doing that most of the time. So yeah, it's been nice not to have to ever put my tools down or stop working because of anxiety. It's just not kind of affected me in that way. It's always normally more outside of that, and it's more like social and things like that. So yeah, luckily my work, which I rely on to live, has never been too impacted by it, thankfully.
Oh, that's, well, and in one way it's a good thing. Yeah, at least that part is not. Yeah. Do you do anything else to decompress, to like recharge and to?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still do daily. I walk the dog every day, and when I say walk, it's like 3 to 5 miles a day, and it has been for years. Like I think for like 5 years now, every day. So I still do that, and I still find that's quite a nice way to kind of decompress a bit. And now more recently, I've been trying to do that and not go on my phone, because it's quite easy to walk along with the dog and just be on my phone with my headphones in, just scrolling Instagram for, and I'm walking like. So this morning was a really nice case of that, because I walked a normal route that I kind of do when my kid gets dropped off to nursery. I kind of go off then with the dog, and, that's part of the morning routine, which is nice. So did that this morning. I went a slightly different way where there was fields, and just walked across the fields with a bit of music on and not on my phone looking at social media. And that was a really nice way. And sometimes when I have like a job in mind or something's coming up, I then start to think about that. And I did that today. I made some notes on my phone about the job and just small, tiny ideas. So that's always really helped me sort of like refill and sort of refuel in that way. So thankfully I have the dog, and I think if I didn't have the dog, I would probably run. I used to be a really keen runner, so I'd probably get back into running again and find some way, which is, for me, it's always been physical. It's always been like a physical exertion or an exercise kind of based thing to kind of, reset, I guess. That's always been really nice.
Okay. Any advice you would give to people who are listening this and who have their own anxiety problems? I mean, of course, we are not like experts or anything.
No, of course.
Just people who have the same anxiety.
Yeah.
But anything you found really helpful for others?
Yeah, I think firstly, not being embarrassed to like talk about it and to share about it. And if you're feeling really down, like go to your GP or talk to a therapist or talk to your friends and your family or your partners, and make sure like you're not like suffering alone in this. Because I think that's kind of how it can be quite a dangerous sort of mindset if you're if you're trying to take this on, although this problem might be within you and might be you, it doesn't mean that you have to kind of do it alone. It's like really important to kind of share and yeah, not saying be public with it, but just get it out there and get it known that maybe you're not all right and you need some form of help. And that's the beauty of, like, I guess today in the modern day, like there's so many different forms of help, whether it is like therapy, hypnotherapy, CBT, it's, there's all these different sort of aspects, or even medication if it needs to be. So you can find what works for you. And I mean, it's probably different in different countries, but in the UK, like, you can easily contact a therapist, or you start off by talking to your GP or your doctor, and, they're non-biased, they're going to help you out. And the good thing about it as well is you don't have to do like a face-to-face thing. Like when I started to talk to my doctor about it a few weeks ago before I went on the medicine and the medication, I don't mind about going into the surgery and talking to them face by face, but they choose to do it over the phone just for kind of ease, I guess. So, you don't even have to talk to someone in person about it. You can talk to someone over the phone, faceless, and just be yourself and get the help that you need. Because, I don't think it's, you only get one life, so you don't really want to have to live in fear or in solitude with something like this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I had luck of having a really great husband and a really supportive person. I assume it's the same for you.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, with my wife.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to talk to someone. As you said, you don't have to go public if you don't feel like it. And but doing something about it, just the first step, talking, that at least someone knows what's happening and the things that happen in your mind, in your head. And
definitely.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, good step.
Yeah, good start, definitely. Where do you see yourself? I mean, do you think that medication might help, or optimist, or?
I do have some optimism, but I am notoriously a pessimist.
Oh, really?
Yes, okay. I think about the worst in situations, of course. The overthinking brain and my brain goes to like the almost worst case scenario sometimes. So I am as optimistic as I can be, because this feels like this is one of the last things I've not tried. So it's almost like last resort of what I can do to try and help me. So there's the optimism there, but then part of me is also like we said, because it's way too early, nothing's going to change yet. I'm like, am I really going to feel that different? Is it really going to make that much of a difference? So that's always biting away in the back of my head. But I think that's just, I'm like that about most things. So, and the inner thought and inner child and inner brain's always kind of talking to me in a voice. So we'll see, but I am optimistic, which is good.
It's good. Yeah.
I just got to wait it out. And I know that people have told me that, and it's just a kind of waiting game. And I think with that, I'm trying to make other changes as well. Like I said about less social media. I'm trying to drink less caffeine, because I didn't realize, although I have 2 to 3 coffees a day max.
Okay.
They're normally flat whites, so they're double shots, which is actually quite a lot of caffeine. And I've always been like, oh, I hate energy drinks, never going to drink energy drinks, but then I'll drink 3 strong coffees a day.
Yeah.
And the caffeine levels, it might not be sugar in it, but so I'm trying to take other steps like that, like reducing the caffeine. And I think that's helping with like a positive mindset, and even sugar, like I'm a sweet tooth kind of person. If I see a cake, I'm going to have a cake. So like if I can cut that back, which I'm trying to do now with my daily coffees, when I go on my dog walks, I don't get like a chocolate cookie with my coffee.
Okay.
I think the sugar intake will help as well. And just, I don't think I ever really thought about like things that I was doing were really quite unhealthy or were really kind of bad for me. So I think trying to not change too much in one go, because it can just really mess you over. But just take those little steps in time with this medication and just see if, whatever bad habits I may have had, and see if that helps overall, because like caffeine and sugar, they're like, key sort of factors in making your heart race and making you overthink.
Yeah.
So I think it's all kind of entwined to kind of go
that
off
part
tangent
is
a bit.
definitely connected. The sugar
Yeah.
especially, and
Mm-hmm.
as you said, with the gut health, the sugar is the best,
Exactly.
From this perspective, if you could give one advice to young Matt, to I don't know, 10-year-old Matt, you're not too old, so
no.
It's not. But what would it be?
In kind of like a general aspect, or more kind of
whatever you want, whatever you prefer, like general thing.
I think to just carry on being me, and being me is okay, because for a lot of my teenage years and my young adulthood years, I always kind of felt like I was kind of like the problem, or that I was the one holding myself back in a way from like being more assertive and being more me, and just not worrying about what people think. And I've definitely got better as I've got older, like just doing certain things and growing up a little bit. But just for me to not feel so like almost against myself as a youth, and that being me is okay, and things will work out, like I think I've never had a plan. I've never been like much of a planner. So that's okay. Life finds a way. It's like one of my favorite quotes from Jurassic Park. So I think, like just keep following the same track, and it's okay to be me. I'm good. I'm to how to do it in like a non big-headed way, but it's like a self-motivational thing. Like I am good. I'm great. Like I am me. Everything is good, and everything can be happy and positive.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really, really good. I mean, it's true. Life always finds a way.
Yep.
And the things almost never get as bad as we think they will be.
Yeah.
Like, if you figure out 10 problems you imagined you will have, you probably didn't 9 out of 10 never happened. So,
and if,
I mean,
if they do, it's not the end of the world. Like, which is what I'm learning more of, that like some things which might seem like they're so important, especially now I've become a father, it's kind of, your priorities shift, and, some things like work aren't the end of the world. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. No one's going to die from it. It's just work. So it's kind of all kind of entwined with that, and what's important, and, where to put your priorities, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I guess we get stuck in our own head and think that that's what happening is the biggest problem ever. And
absolutely.
God knows if we'll survive it or whatever, but it passes away, and there's another one waiting for you. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
There's always another problem coming.
Yeah. No, that's really great. And I mean, you've been really blessed, I guess, to have the family and have the support, and to have all the people reaching out to you. I've read you said that as well, and to have that community, and that I assume that really, really helps when you feel down. And
it's nice. And I literally had a call this morning with one of my mates called David Oku, who's like an amazing illustrator. I literally had his call about an hour before we recorded this, and that was purely from him reaching out because he's seen some of the Instagram stories and posts recently, and we're close. We've got close from like just general design events where we've met each other and sent each other like art and had conversations and collaborated on work pieces. So like community things like that, and people reaching out, just it definitely makes you feel like you're not alone, especially if you just work in one room like this. I work here every day, all day, so to have that extension of a community that's virtual or digital, even if it's just just voice notes or messages or photos, it's something, you know, it's a nice kind of extension and arm from being solo and being alone.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, last year we moved to Barcelona for my husband's work.
Nice.
And I was, you know, so happy because we rented a 3-bedroom apartment, and it was not really in the city center. It was a bit outside, but we managed to find a really great apartment, a new one.
Nice.
And I had my own, I finally like said, oh my God, I'm having my own like office space, a room for myself. And then after a couple of weeks, I was so lonely in there. And I literally missed the time when I was working in the living room. So I definitely understand that part, that working on your own is, I mean, I really expected it. You know, I had, it's not this apartment. We moved back to Madrid now, but I had these huge bookshelves and the desk for myself and huge lights, windows and everything. And it was so cool. And I was so excited about it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after a couple of weeks, I was feeling so lonely. My husband was in the living room working on his own. And like I said, okay, I'm just going over there.
Some company.
I moved my desk later, and we actually bought a bigger one for both of us. So we worked together, and it really, really was a huge difference. So,
that's good. Make a difference.
It made a huge difference for me. And luckily now we are back in Madrid, and I have my own desk in the living room. So we are together quite a lot, and it helps, you know, when you just can actually talk to someone while throwing letters, and it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. My dog doesn't have too much of an input on day to day, unfortunately. So I go to like coffee shops, and although I'm not talking to people, there's people, you know, there's something. So I just sit with my computer on a table.
That's amazing.
Connection.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, apart from advice for a young Matt, do you have one thing that you think it's really important to say to other people, other designers? It can be work or life related. Like one thing, if there was something that you think is the most important.
If you find something that you love making, you know, if you find something that you truly enjoy creating, that doesn't feel like it feels very organic, feels natural, and you feel like you really get something from it, like run with it, like I did with type. So find that thing that you love to make or you love to work on, and just do it over and over in different styles, different themes, you know, just keep pushing at that one thing that you love to make, because someone will be interested in it. You'd be surprised how many people are interested in different things. And you never know where it could lead and what you could end up doing. You could end up doing it for the rest of your life as your career. So just find that thing, practice and master that craft, because it really is so worth it if you find that one thing that just works, you know, that just clicks, just the light comes on in your brain.
Absolutely. I love that one. I have that for myself with type design.
Amazing.
So, I mean, you know how it works, and it's just something that I've done a lot of different things, from website design and graphic design and logo branding and everything. But with type design, it's definitely different, and I'm all into it right now, except for the podcast, which is kind of a extension of something. But the type is that for me. So I definitely understand that and recommend the same.
Absolutely. I thought it might be because just because of how the logo is designed for your podcast, like you can see it's very type orientated, it's very considered. So you know there's a love of type there already.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really want to thank you for this episode. I will not take much of your time. I know you have a lot of work to do, and probably pick the kid later and pick up the kid later. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you really for speaking about this, for speaking about the issues a lot of people is facing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But thank you for being actually brave to talk about it and not like, because a lot of people are following you and you have a huge following. And if that helps at least like to one person to reach out to someone, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that. And thank you for joining me today. I had a really nice chat with you.
Me too.
And I hope we talk again in the future. I mean, first of all, I wish you all the best, really. Thanks. from my heart, because I know how it can be to not be yourself at times.
Yeah.
So thank you for all of that.
No, thank you. It's been my pleasure and an honor to be on here, and just to have a nice, open, easy conversation. So thank you very much for having me. And I have so many of your podcasts and I'll watch. Like I've already seen some, but there's just so many more that I'm gonna sort of put on in the background and start listening to. So thanks for doing what you're doing as well. I think it's just a nice platform and a nice space to talk to people about things.
Thank you so much. And I mean, we'll definitely chat along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
More.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Have a lovely day. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Real stories with bold creatives. Captain OffScript Podcast.